Good afternoon, friends and family. How are you guys doing today? Mic check. Yes, we're live. We're good. Welcome back. Episode number 39. And let me see if the chat is working. One second, guys. What a beautiful ride it has been with gold. Finally, we're getting back to some clean price action. Can't wait to go over the session with you guys today. A lot of things to talk about, but man, I'm excited because this is what we have been waiting for. Okay. Episode number 39. Let me see if the chat is working. Everything good? What happened yesterday? Yesterday, I was working on some things for the group, the 15 people we work with. Right now, we're taking it very serious. And we're doing our absolute best to deliver for them. So yes. Okay, guys, good to see you all. Welcome back to the stream here on the live day trading journey. Gold is freaking bullish. We're not going to hold you back any longer right now. Let's go deeper and deeper into everything here. Let me see quickly what we have with us in the chat, and then we get the party started right there. And Nolas, my friend, welcome. How are you doing, man? Daniel, good to see you. Jerks, good afternoon. Early at episode 40. Well done, Lorenzo. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you very much for the book. I'm very grateful for it. Amazing to hear that. Hello from Germany. Good afternoon, my mentor. Have you guys read my email today? The low volume notes and everything that comes with that. Very interesting. We're going to talk about this today again. Okay? Amazing, guys. Let's get the party started. It's time for some heat. And looking forward to this training session with you guys. Yes, sir. Okay, that's better. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Good to see you all on a beautiful Thursday. Tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow we have the NFP, the non-farm payrolls. All right. Today we have the initial jobless claims in around 15 minutes. So this is going to come as well here. Some news, but overall, look at what has been happening to the dollar. Look at the dollar, ladies and gentlemen. Look at how the dollar has been dropping, and most importantly, not just the dollar. Look at oil. Oh. Look at oil. Look at how it has been dropping so extremely hard. Roughly speaking, from the top to where we are right now, we're talking already around 20%. It's a 20% drop here, okay? A lot of positive news in regards to the potential war, a de-escalation. Strait of Hormuz potentially getting opened as well here. Wait a second. Is this gonna happen or not? What's gonna happen? You tell me. I don't know. You never know. For now, it's good. The market's getting priced in here. So let's take this in consideration with us now. Gold has been absolutely pushing. All right. The guys in my group have been absolutely killing it. They've been taking some beautiful trades. They've been capitalizing on the swing, on the retest, on the breakouts, you name it. So I'm very proud of them. Absolutely incredible here. In terms of gold, okay, what's going on in gold right now? Let's go take it back to the 1 hour time frame first. Look at what happened here, guys. Absolutely unbelievable. Let's mark out the fixed volume profile. Okay, from the top to the bottom of this whole swing. this whole downtrend right around there, okay? And yeah, guess what happened? Guess what freaking happened, all right? The moment we did that, actually, let me do this one more time. Let me actually make sure that this is clear. Right there, okay? The moment we broke above our low volume node here, because this was major resistance, low volume node, right? Major resistance, and then the moment we broke above that, we kept following through. So price is getting accepted. There's fair value. We're breaking above a retesting, and we're actually continuing higher. So this is actually a really, really strong sign of gold right now. But I want to warn you for something, okay? I want to warn you for the following. Keep in mind that we have major resistance at our next low volume node as well, which is sitting right here. You see that gap of volume? Less orders transacted in the marketplace, potentially a lot of passive aggressive involvement in the market. So a lot of limits were activated around this area right there. Okay, but this will probably be major resistance as well here. Okay, it's similar to what you saw here the week ago. Okay, the moment it finally broke through it, it turned it into support. And again, guess what? We broke above it. It was a short bounce and a rejection, and ever since then we have been selling off. We are not far away from that resistance. Okay, so do take that in consideration right there. Okay, we're not far away from that resistance right there, but we are still far enough away to actually still see if we could trade towards that. So any pullback, continuation play, I don't really see a reason right now to sell gold at this level, at this current moment, all right? Things looking pretty strong if you ask me here. But I hope you guys understand from a higher time frame swing perspective, these low volume nodes are major areas where you could find a lot of resistance. Look at this one right here outside of the fair value. Okay, it's not as efficient, but look at that. This was also a major rejection, okay? So our next resistance on gold is going to be the 4775 here. That's a major resistance. We can still trade towards that on any pullback shape or form here. Just try to look for that continuation play towards, you know, that potential area right there. So that's something that I'm willing to definitely pay attention to right now. Okay, just set this as our major key levels first, okay? Let me do this on the other chart as well here quickly. And then we move down to the lower time frame right there, okay? The daily looks extremely strong, by the way. Look at the daily time frame. Major breakout, the weekly candle. Look at the weekly candle here. Absolutely amazing here. We talked about the fact that we were also in daily demand, okay? And we never broke the daily demand zone. We actually managed to hold this zone, break out, and break structure intraday, all right? And that's a very bullish sign. That's a very bullish sign. It shows that the market is getting accepted around $4,500, okay? And that right now, the fact that we broke structure, we broke out as well here. After setting in the low, so a lower low and a higher high, is now actually allowing us to see a shift, a new trend being created, an actual breakout happening right there, okay? The gold is pushing up higher and higher, and the biggest thing that people do here, when they see price slowing down, they start entering a lot of shorts. They start entering a lot of shorts in the market here. And you see it as well here last time. Yesterday was a perfect example, by the way. If you go to the 50-minute footprint chart of yesterday, okay? Just want to show you. Everyone started to short right here, aggressively short the bottom, or at least what they thought was the bottom here. This was a beautiful example right there. Look at all that shorting. But it was just a short-term push down to invite a lot of my market participants to enter short again to reverse price. Okay, and that actually fuels the move to the upside even more because they're pretty much used as what we call liquidity. Okay, hope that makes sense because this is what we're seeing right now. And at this current moment, you can actually see right now that we're seeing a lot of selling, but not much follow through here. So we're still seeing clearly, definitely a lot of support and a lot of absorption taking place as well in the footprint chart. Right? A lot of sellers that are trying to enter are simply getting absorbed. They're simply failing to push price further to the downside, okay? So don't try to short the top unless it's a quick scalp, unless you have a couple of different confluences that make sense for you. But for now, I would say stay out of shorts. Really be careful with shorting because, you know what? We will have our major resistance. That's when we could look for potential shorts in the marketplace right now. Right now, I would say be a little bit more careful. Be a little bit more cautious right now, okay? That is the only thing that I can say about this here. We have our major resistance coming up right there, okay? We are not there yet. We are still bullish. We're still breaking out to the upside here. Let's take this to the lower time frame. Okay. If we take the volume profile of the previous day from the left to the right, all right, you can actually see that we also had the low volume node right around there. We bounced from it. And also Look at this gap right there. Do you see this gap? Less orders transacted right there. Let me just mark this out right there and tell me what you see. Tell me what you see today. Look at that beautiful reaction here, okay? Absolutely amazing reaction right there from the bottom. Look at how we consolidated, how we manipulated, how we expanded, how we pulled back, and how we continued. How do we call that, fam? Chat, let me know. How do we call this setup right there? Okay? I want to hear it from the chat. How do we call that setup right there? Okay? We consolidated, we came down, we came up, we pulled back, and we continued to go higher. Textbook setups right there, my friend. Textbook setups, okay? Let me see what the chat is saying, actually. Yeah. Totally correct. The CME, all right? The CME model. Consolidation, manipulation, and then the expansion, okay? If you want to learn about that, you can actually find it in my book right there, the LTA Concepts Trading War Map. You go to volume analysis. This is in essence exactly what we have been doing right now in the first 10 minutes of this stream here. Okay, you go to the fixed profiles, you go to page number 47, and you see that exact pattern that you see on the chart right there, the consolidation, the manipulation, and the expansion right there. That is what you learn in this book, right? And many more entry and execution models around that, okay? So if you're interested in getting that, you can actually download my book right there. It's in the chat. It's free of charge. You need to fill in your email, and that's pretty much it. So ebook, or you get into the charts right here in the description, ltaconcepts.io, okay? That's the setup right there. And it's a setup that happens all the time. And if you combine that with a higher time frame level, the point of control, or a low volume node, you can find some amazing setups in there. And this was actually the low for the fuel, the move to the upside right there. Beautiful setup right there, okay? But what about now? What about now? That's the big question. What about now? What's happening at this current moment here? Well, gold is struggling a little bit here, okay? We are not undervalued against the dollar. We're still waiting for a little bit of a push to the downside, a little bit more of a retracement, okay? Because if we now actually look at the current situation of gold here, gold is a little bit overextended right now. However, we have what we call the footprint chart, right? We know exactly what kind of levels we're looking for. And on the 4-hour time frame, we can actually see very, very clearly that we have what we call, okay? Let me just mark this out here. A very nice zone. Very nice zone. A series of stacked sellers right there sitting at the 4724. The 4724. Okay, where is that? That's right in this range, guys. So if we mark out the previous day, we have now another potential breakout pattern, okay? Which is right here. You guys already see it. We have the range. We were operating in fair value. We broke out, right? Expanding. What can we do now? Potentially, we could potentially pull back into the range. We will potentially get what? Undervalued against the dollar. We get what? Into that area of trapped sellers. These sellers are going to exit. That is going to fuel the move to the upside. And then we're going to potentially look for longs again. That's the safest place for me today to look for long setups, okay? It's taking the range from the left to the right. Look for a couple levels right there inside of that range, okay? The value high is one of those, the 4720. The point of control is another one. It's the 4705. And then within that, we have what we call also a low volume node. We're going to see potentially where we react from, but this is a potential buying zone for us right there. Potential buying zone right there around the 4720 is what I'm looking for, okay? Potential buying at the 4720, right around there. All right, the dollar is coming down, oil is coming down consistently, and we're looking relatively weak. We're going to pay attention to the news in a second. There's not much happening from that perspective right there, okay? But that will be considered the best of the best setup right now, in my opinion, if we pull back to the 4720, right? Something to that. Why? Because we have our consolidation, our expansion, our retracement, and then the continuation, right? So it kind of creates that push towards our major resistance, okay? We have to mark that out right there. Major resistance, strong, low volume node, swing, or macro intraday swing, okay? Potential sells, by the way. Potential sells, potential pullbacks, okay? Right there in this area, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet, so we still look for buys only, in my opinion. I'm not really willing to sell right now at the moment. I was looking for a quick scalp before, but now it's only buys for me. If we can pull back towards this area, maybe we can pull back here and then potentially react, come down a bit lower into that range, see buyers stepping in, look at the order flow on the lower time frame, see if I can find a confirmation right now. There is a big chance we're actually pull back a little bit right now, though. I'm going to be patiently waiting for at least that signal. And yeah, let's see what happens, guys. Overall, this is kind of the area that we're looking for. Now, if you go to the 5-minute time frame, if we would be very aggressive right now, then you could say, okay, well, we have our range, we have our breakout, okay, and we're operating in an area of low volume right here. But keep in mind, we are in that resistance. We are unable to break through. We saw a large absorption happening from buyers to there at that moment. So I don't know if it's the best place to buy right now. Still, sellers are trying to squeeze in. I think it's better to be patient, to wait for price to pull back and hopefully create some sort of reaction. All right, something like that. All right, if price still holds up here and it starts to give us another signal, or we move down to the undervaluation, or we are breaking out stronger and pulling back, maybe, okay? But for now, I think the best way to do is just simply wait for the news, wait for that to break out, hopefully break down, and then see if you can get into the best possible entry of today. Not chasing the market down, but waiting for the right setups. This helped us yesterday tremendously. This was a beautiful example. Undervaluation, we tapped into that zone right there. And just look at this example from yesterday, by the way. Yesterday, New York session was actually very simple. Yesterday's New York session was swing low to the swing high, right there, right? Swing low to the swing high. Let's go to the 15-minute. We tapped into a low volume node, and we tapped into the point of control right there, okay? I actually shared this in our group right there with the guys at that time here. There was a trade example right there. You saw this beautiful breakdown, right? That reaction right there. There was a 600 pip move, and you saw all that selling happening, but no follow through. All was selling with no follow through. That's a sign of strength. That's an absorption right there. And that was actually right around the New York session. But that was the exact process where we had all these confluences aligning. Undervaluation, swing point of control, low volume node, buyers, a lot of selling, but no follow through. And that caused a reaction to the upside again. And that was actually the trade right there. I think it was around a 400 pip move. It was a nice move, a nice trade. Okay. And let's see what happens today, though. All right, now we're there. And now we're going to see if potentially can get down to, get towards our macro zone, which is a much more important zone, which is the 4,780. Okay. The 4,780. If you can get there, then it will become very, very interesting. Okay. Drive and jump. Hello. Can someone tell me about the volume 2 on the left and how to get it? Yes, it's right there. The fixed range volume profile, my friend. The fixed range volume profile. You click on that and then you mark it out over, certain candlestick structures. In order to get there, you need to download the book so you understand exactly how to draw it, or watch the streams consistently. You will get a good understanding over time as well. Okay? Oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. Anyways, we're still getting supported. We have news right now. What is the news telling us right here? Okay, came out a bit better than expected for the dollar. Let's see if the dollar reacts to that. If it actually gave us something like a reaction, or if the dollar just does not really, really care. Let's have a look here. Dollar does not really care. Dollar does not really care right now about that news at this current moment. Okay? Does not really care. Yep. It has been time that the dollar is getting weaker right now. A de-escalation, of course, means that a lot of people will sell their bonds. And they're like, you know what? It's risk on, baby. It's risk on. I'm very positive this war will potentially end. At least this is from an investor perspective. So investors do not really care. They do not really care about the stock market coming potentially down either. Look at where the NQ is at. Look at the NQ. Look at these all-time highs, baby. Unbelievable. What a reaction on the NQ here, right? What a reaction on the NQ. This is a 25% move. And it happened during the war. Think about that for a second. Let that sink in, okay? NQ has been an absolute monster rule. It's time for gold to follow up. That's the plan. It's time for gold to follow up with that right now at this current moment. Let's see if gold can do that, okay? Let's see if gold can give us exactly what we want right now. And that is a potential pullback right here. And let's see if the swings allow us to do that, to give us that potential reaction as well, okay? Yeah, NQ, crazy. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yep, absolutely. All right. So overall, we use volume for our analysis. Why? Because volume is king. It's hard to manipulate volume. Executed orders in the marketplace are a real thing. The more, the better. Okay, the high liquid, the better it is for the market. So for gold as well right now. And if the market operates from an aggressive expansion, what happens on gold is that a lot of people are trying to short it. And they get burned. They get burned quite quickly here. So yeah, unless you are in a major zone of interest, major area of resistance, you should be really careful with shorting gold right now. But that major zone is actually right there. Okay, that major zone is right there. Why there? Why there? Well, the main reason why we just explained right here. Okay, if we take the whole swing, let's go to the 30-minute time frame on gold. We take the whole swing and we measure all the volume traded in the swing high to swing low. You have these gaps, these low volume nodes right there. Okay, and these are the areas of low volume of inefficiency, and this is where we find support, where we find resistance. It's a great example is right here. Okay, we pull back into that. This is another one right there. Very low volume. Okay, so we need to be very cautious with longing there. And this is where usually people get screwed, right? You try to buy into that and you burn. So we're trying to wait for price to get there, to be a bit exhausted, and then maybe we try to short it there. But anyways, until then, no interest in shorting for me. Okay, only there. Obviously more buying there. Yes. Okay, can you explain why gold is pushing higher and higher when the war is over, and what war is gold pushing down? So it's kind of risk on right now. Okay, risk on means there's this kind of de-escalation. A lot of people are selling their dollars. The dollar becomes weaker. Weaker dollar, of course, implies a better gold. Okay, why? Well, gold is measured in dollars right now. 1 ounce of gold is $4,756. If the dollar becomes weaker because they're selling off bonds, then the gold price will naturally come up. There's a negative correlation between gold, between the dollar. Now, at the same time, oil had a major impact on gold prices as well here. Oil has been dropping 20% since that news came out. So that fuels another move for gold. It's all risk on right now. At this moment, at least. It's getting priced in here. Okay? Yes. For now, we're holding up quite well, to be honest, right? At this current moment, we're still getting respected quite well. Could this continue to push higher? It absolutely could. It absolutely could, especially if you look on the 5-minute time frame. You can actually see right now that we're starting to break structure again. Okay, so do take that in consideration. There is a chance that we'll try to trade towards that. The question is, do we want to aggressively trade that? Right, that's the question. In my opinion, the only way to do that is by taking out these highs right here. Because there is so much absorption there, right? Buyers were trying to short it, to long it, and they got rejected really aggressively with a lot of volume, by the way. Look at that, 2.6K contracts in a single 15-minute candle. So that means that as long as we're trading below that zone, you can see that right here, we're forming that resistance right there. You see that? Every time we're forming that resistance. We have these trapped buyers sitting there. We also have sellers taking control there. You can actually say that this is the zone that we have to be worried about. And that is this area right there, okay? You can actually see right there that this is where we saw a lot of buying. A large market participant aggressively bought, but price never really broke it. And you see buyers trying, they're failing again. So don't try to trade this breakout. I don't feel safe trading this breakout right there because there is simply just an absorption taking place at the moment. So I'd rather wait for price to pull back a little bit, give us a little bit more breathing room. And if that could be the case, then I would love to buy. Okay? It's a bit too much chasing from my perspective to buy here now. I would love to see a pullback. Hopefully it happens. If we break out and we push into our macro zone, I'm not afraid of shorting it there because I know how important that zone will be and what kind of resistance we're going to find there. It's going to be some serious resistance around that level, by the way. It will be a serious zone that we cannot neglect. Okay, we cannot neglect that area right there. Very interesting. Okay, well, enough with this elevator music. I don't know why this is in our playlist, by the way. Sorry for that. That's better. Okay. Beautiful. Yes. Let me know if you guys liked the overall analysis right here. If you guys are ready to rock. 200 likes right now. Appreciate that. There are 1,000 people watching. I appreciate you guys all. Once again, don't forget to download the book. It's very important because the reason why we're here, and I'm doing this on the streams as well, is to educate you along the way, right? It's not just going to be just trading. It's a combination of trading and education. I was always enjoying giving the education in combination with live trading, much more than just live trading, and keeping my mouth shut. You know what I mean? So I hope you guys are learning something along the way. This is always something that I like to think about is, are you able to, after the stream, take this with you and use it for yourself, right? We're only streaming 2 hours a day. So, you know, we have still 22 hours left. This is something that you can capitalize on. So hopefully it helps. And if you like it, then, you know, smash up the like button. It will help the channel grow. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, we're breaking. If we break out of that high, maybe it becomes interesting in a pullback. But we know how important this level is right here. Okay, I would love to see the breakout. The ideal would be the pullback, of course. But if we don't get the pullback and we just push up right now, then it's either going to be the retest of the range and then the reaction, or we actually break out immediately and we find resistance, and then we'll have to look for sells in the short term because there's no other way. There is no other way. Okay, but you can see how gold is struggling right now, right here. Do take that in consideration. It looks bullish, but it's struggling, and we know why it's struggling, right? We know why it's struggling. We saw that absorption. We know why. Yeah. Okay. Break. Hey, I'm new here. What's the name of your indicator? Which one? The order flow or this one? This is called the Stealth Valuation Index. It's something I created. It measures gold against the dollar. Okay. And it actually finds the perfect bottoms, especially in uptrends, man. Especially in these trends. Beautiful lows. And it aligns with like levels that we look for, etc. It's very nice. Very nice. It's better on the 15. I love it on the 15-minute. You don't have it all the time, but these are like the perfect examples of what I'm looking for and why. And then I look at areas of interest to trade from on the lower time frame with the volume profile. All right, let's see if we can finally break. Marian says, I would love to see a pullback. Absorption is a signal of accumulation. Yes. Yeah, watch what happens. If we manage to get to the 4780, man, watch what happens there. I'm telling you. Watch what happens there. Watch what happens there. Yeah, the 50 minute is looking very good if we break out and close above this. Because then I could set the limit order, let's say, at the 475. 475, yeah. So like somewhere, yeah, pretty much in this range. We will break out of this range. 4750, but only then if you break out and we pull back. For now, we are still not there. We haven't broken out. This is the ideal, of course. Pushing back, buying there. That's the ideal. I've been buying for 10 hours already. Yeah, a lot of people did it. Also in the group. A lot of people were trading this setup here. Look at that. Very, very nice. That was very good. So clean. So clean. You know what happened after that? So clean. So clean. Wow. Okay. So clean. Very proud of the guys right now. You guys know I work with 50 people personally. Okay. You know I work with them. Now we talked about this. We had these 200 applications, right? And we onboarded 15 of those people. And we said, we're going to work with you guys for 6 weeks straight. We are now at session 5. That's a live trading session, a private live trading session after 4 educational sessions of around 8 hours of content in total. And they're already executing and making money. How beautiful is that? All right. A beautiful start. That was the goal. And then we put them in a group. And then guess what? The next group comes later on. The next group comes, right? We go and they go to the exact same trajectory, 6 weeks straight. And then once they're done with their 6 weeks, they go and talk with the first group, Group A. They get in touch with the first group that is already more experienced. And then everyone that comes into the group has the same background, the same education, and to the same process. That's what you want, okay? And trust me, I have a lot of experience in communities, building communities. And I know the good sides, the bad sides, I know all of it. I know the best way, the proper way to do this correctly, okay? In the meantime, we're closed for now. We will open up probably at the end of the month for another 50 people. But just stick with the live streams, right? On a daily basis here. We're here pretty much every day. And you can download the book as well to learn for free. So there's a lot of free content out there that we're pushing every single day. So yeah. Julius, bro, I finished all your short vids last week and I started using the fixtures for profile strategy. I was close to quitting trading, but now I'm up 8K this week. You are the best. Thank you, man. Congratulations. Never give up, man. Why would you give up? Why would you give up? There's no reason to quit. You know what I mean? You could be mining for diamonds. Remember that meme? Where you could be mining for diamonds, right? This is always the perfect metaphor, right? The mining for diamonds metaphor, all right? You're not gonna be one of those G's, right? You're not gonna be one of those guys, okay? You're not gonna be one of those guys. You know that. You're not gonna be that, okay? That is a loser mentality. Is it possible? It is possible. And if you know it's possible, then why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you? Imagine being there, needing that like one aha moment, Okay, that one aha moment, that final source of the equation, right? Perfectly assembled. You were missing that one link that connected all the dots, and boom, you walk away and you give up on something, and you wasted years of your life. That would be unfortunate. It would be. It really would be. And trust me, I've been there too. There were moments where I wanted to give up too. Absolutely. All right, Goldie, what do you want? What do you want to do now? Okay, this looks really, pretty good overall. But we haven't closed above this zone yet. This is exactly where we got rejected. So we're clearly not breaking structure. We're still in that zone. And we kind of have a hard time here. Not gonna lie, we have a hard time breaking through. Don't want to long here, and don't want to trade the breakout. It's a bit, it's a risky trade. Very risky trade. You should talk more about your deepest and darkest moments. Well, my deepest and darkest moments was $70,000 in drawdown. For 3 months. That was pretty deep. That was pretty dark. Waking up with a heart attack every morning. That was in 2022? 2023? 2022, I think. Yeah, absolutely. All right. I wish we had a bit more volume, like at least a little bit more breakout right now. It's very slow. We're trying to squeeze it. This is why we're having a lot of resistance right now. We're going to potentially squeeze out and get to that major resistance. I still prefer us to see the breakout, then some sort of pullback, and then the continuation if needed. I would not say you can't long this right now, but it is a tricky one. It's not an A+ setup. It's definitely more chasing to the max, trying to squeeze the trade. What is oil doing? Yeah, dollar is still breaking down. Doesn't care about the positive news from the initial jobless claims at all. Oil is tanking. No one wants to buy oil right now, apparently. So yeah, clearly that has been an issue too. Right? No one wants to buy oil. Okay? No one wants to buy oil. And if you want to know about oil as well, you can also do this. You can also take oil from the previous week, from the left to the right. Now you have the information of all the volume traded on oil last week. And then you look at the low volume nodes, gapped in the volume profile. And then check out what happens in these gaps. Okay, let's mark out this one. Let's mark out this one in the value area. Let's mark out this one right there. And let's see what price does. How price reacted at it. Right there. Okay. With this one right there, very clean. Look at that resistance there. Look at that resistance there. Once we broke below our next one, you see the turn it into resistance. The next one, turn into resistance. So once we start breaking all of these zones, and then the point of control, yeah, this is where we absolutely tanked. The moment we broke below the point of control, that was the moment for oil to be completely bearish. And that's when gold started to move very aggressively. So you could see this coming. The breakdown, and then oil, and then gold. So the breakout from gold was coming. And oil gave the clues already. Oil gave the clues. The dollar, by the way, too. You can do this on the dollar, too. Look at this area. Let me show you this one. Okay? You take the dollar, capital.com. You go from the left to the right. you watch the low volume node in this week, the previous week on the dollar, we have one right here and we have one right there. You see that? Let's mark out this one and let's look at this. Couldn't break it. Couldn't break that zone. And we sold off aggressively. Look at that. All bullish for gold. All bullish for gold. So the bias was pretty clear. And the dollar is still tanking. It's still getting rejected. Still pushing down. It doesn't want to freaking push up, which is good for gold. Okay, it's a good thing. But gold is slowing down right now, right? Dollar is dropping. Oil is dropping. But gold is not really going right now at the moment. It's not really going. Okay. It is not really going. And we're still in that area. Still in that box on the 15 minute. We still are unable to break out here. Lorenzo, how do you develop your areas of interest to trade from? The volume profile. That's it, the volume profile. High volume nodes, the low volume nodes inside of the volume profile are major zones. I actually sent out an email today for you guys. I'm not sure if you guys received it, but I actually explained it. Okay, right here. Explained it completely. Send you guys an email. So if you download the book, you get these emails. Emails with value, okay? Free value where we talk about, you know, certain things. In this case, we talked about the low volume nodes. Most traders are drawing the long levels. We actually explained this. All right. Yeah, if we really break out and pull back, like this is gonna be an area of interest to the 50s, okay? So if we pull back, maybe we get to the 50s, maybe I'll buy. Maybe I'll buy. But let's see what happens. When it comes down to the Xau charts, by the way, never stop balling. Nice name. When it comes down to the Xau charts, I actually don't really look at key levels or something like that. It's usually the volume profile, the candlesticks. It's more than enough. But once we're there, I like to understand what's happening. Once we're there. Okay, it's what we call the trigger. Yeah, so as you can see, we're still not able to break it, guys. So this is why if we would have aggressively longed here right now, then we would have been waiting and waiting and waiting and not breaking out, not following through. $4,750, interesting to buy. I was looking at the $4,750 too. I agree. I actually completely agree. Is in the short term, I think that's a level to that's a level to look for. It's still a little bit aggressive. It's still aggressive, but it's not bad. Yeah, the question is, can we pull back to the 50s? If you can pull back to the 50s, that would be an important level, okay? Which is actually somewhere around I would say this area. Okay, let me actually take this whole range. Yeah, it's exactly there. It's exactly around this area. It's the very high as well, the smaller range. Yeah, it's roughly there. Let's see what happens inside of this zone. Okay, in case we get there, we might get there. And then let's see what happens here. In case we get to the 50s right there. Sorry, would have been wise to buy here, guys, at the breakout. Not really, right? That would have been drawdown. That would have been drawdown. That would have been drawdown. Okay. There we go. Perfect. All right, we want to see what happens here. Do you mind sharing the settings for the volume profile? Looks very, very clean. Yes, it's the settings right here. 128, 70 area, 70 value area. Okay. 70 value area. All right, look at that reaction though. Strong reaction there again. What's happening with the lights? Now, there's something wrong with the focus, right? 1 second. I don't know what's going on. Anyways. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, we're dropping into the 50s right now. We're dropping into the 50s very, very soon here. This is that 15-minute zone that we talked about. Is this then the bounce potentially we're looking for? Shall we try? How long is that move here? How far is that move here? 300 pips. Okay, we're getting there. The 15 minute. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. Yeah, oil and dollar, a little bit of strength right now, but it makes sense. So let's see if we can hold this, respect this level. Let's see if gold can actually do it, because we're now in this next zone. The 15 minute shows us that same level, pretty much. So we want to kind of hold this level, man. And yeah, pretty much like this area. If we break it, this is my next zone. Definitely waiting for the next area to go for, but let's give it a try at least. See if we can hold up. Let's see what we do, what we end up with at the end of the session. Yeah, we kind of opened up the hourly candle without the top wick as well, right? At least that's what I'm seeing here. We didn't really create the top wick. So this is kind of an aggressive entry right there. And keeping this kind of tight. If we get back down there, then clearly a bit more buying with more contract size as well, a bit more aggressive. Higher contracts, I would say. Anyways, how do you determine which volume profile is more important, the weekly, daily, or the fixed? They're all of them equally important. It all depends on the context, of course. Are we in the weekly range? Yes or no? Are you in a low volume node? Yes or no? Right? Can you combine those levels? Yes or no? Right? There are a couple different ways to look at it. Can we combine those levels? Lorenzo, is the news not bearish for gold? I don't really look at just that. There's not enough information just by going off of the news. Right? Only looking for shorts because of the initial jobless claims, for example. It doesn't work for me in the long term. It has never worked in the long term. It's always an accumulation of different layers. All right, let's see where we are. I definitely want to see more strength from this 15-minute candle, to be honest. We still have like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. My stop loss, I think I will close it manually. I mean, the risk is still not big enough for me to be worried. Regardless. I think close it manually if I don't like the trade anymore. All right, if you want to have an actual stop loss, I would say below the... I would say like 38. 38, somewhere around here. Yeah, 38, I would say. Yeah, oil and that rejection again. Is there strength for oil here? Dollar, yeah, similar, I would say. The yields are also not really looking strong, so. We're still above this zone here. Don't forget that on the 4 hour. Super important level. And then the next zone is indeed going to be this potential buying zone here. I would not be selling now. Not interested in really selling. We're also trading above the VWAP. How does the VWAP actually work? It's called volume weighted average price. It pretty much shows you the average price of what market participant paid for throughout the trading session. So if you're trading above that, buyers are in profit usually. If you're trading below that, sellers are usually in profit. In a balanced market, it kind of acts as a magnet. It's actually very good. It can be very helpful. Come on, Gordy. Can we hold? Dollar is looking weaker, slowing down already. Oil is still in that resistance as well. So if we flip, gold will break out for sure. It has been doing that ever since. But hey, it's a New York session. When you're planning to use the variation indicator, to use it, we're using it all the time. All the time. Okay, let's see what's happening on the 5 minute. 5 minute just closed. I mean, we're definitely forming some local resistance here. We're just having that support too. We're holding the very high. There's definitely a little bit of an absorption taking place here. I would not say it's like bearish, but like we're definitely seeing that absorption. Obviously, if this breaks down, I would say I would get out. If you get to the 38, I'm gonna get out. I will set the limit order at the 21 and leave the rest running. Because we knew it was a bit aggressive here. But if this flips and it closes back above that zone, we're in a pretty good spot. We have some news on the war, I guess. I heard that. Really? All right, we're still below above this zone here, so we still need to be patient. I'm still there. What's happening? Black Tiger. Nice name. New for the space. Hi, everyone. Welcome, man. Yeah, if we close below the point of control, it's time to get out. And then I'm gonna set a limit order at the 21. And I'm gonna hold on to that trade. All right, let's see what the reaction is here. This is our next zone. If you don't see a good reaction here, then I go out of the trade and I'll set my limit order below at the 21. And then I will hold on to this setup and try to squeeze it there. Well, let's see what happens in this zone. We're now in our next zone. We need to see a reaction here. Yeah, we knew this was not the right moment to buy. We wanted to buy a little bit lower on the pullback instead. So we have more room. But we need to bounce here, otherwise we'll get out and we'll buy later. Okay, we do see reaction there. That's good. This allows us to see a little bit of a pullback. Camille says, Israel officials say the emerging US-Iran deal would fail to meet Israel's objectives and Iran's nuclear program, ballistic missiles, and regional proxy network. Okay. That's why oil is pushing up a little bit more aggressively. Potentially why. Dollar is actually getting rejected. Oil, yeah, is still in that zone. I mean, we're breaking out, but we're still there. We're still not breaking structure, right? We're still kind of like holding on to that like zone. Where's it level? Still breaking in that area. And we're back. So actually, look at that, right? That low volume node right there. You see that? We take the volume profile of this smaller one. We mark out this zone. Okay. I love these areas, man. Actually, we could have bought there too. But anyways. Look at that. Do you see that? And then whoop, we react from it right here. I said if we would lose that, then I need to close the trade. I had no choice to then close the trade. Pretty much. Because yeah, we lose a level. Then we'll most likely move to this lower zone right there, you know what I mean? And then I had no choice to close the trade pretty much and wait for the price to come down lower. But oil is struggling here. And gold reacts quite well to it. And we're still in that zone. So, yeah, I mean... give it some time, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of important to observe oil here. Because it has an impact on gold. But we need to close back above this high with like strong conviction, right? We really want to see this. 30 minutes is also just getting respected. Okay. Yeah, you see these notes are important, man. These low volume notes are super key for us. Also to determine our stop loss and stuff right now. We don't really want to break down. We're close below the 40s anymore. We really don't want to do that right now. That would be nasty. So we really want to stay above it. Do you also have a short scenario? Good question, my friend. Yes, I have. This major zone right here. This is major resistance. I can guarantee you this. The 75s and higher. The 4800. Between 75 and 4800. We're going to find some major resistance from this swing high to swing low. This will be also the target, right? If you can get there. But we need to break out, man. We're holding that resistance there, right at our entry. But yeah, that will be resistance if you start seeing overvaluations right there. If the market's overvalued, we push up higher. We get there. We start to see some divergences playing out. The dollar finding support, blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe I'll look for some short setups for sure. But nothing else. Nothing until then. Did we become the trap buyers? Well, kind of. Yeah, actually, we kind of did. Right now. We just need to break out. But we don't want to break out. Yet. Oil is trying to break higher, but it doesn't really want to either. But if oil flips this candle, wow, gold will break. Why does it move like gold? Because it's gold. Okay. That's a break. That's a break. And now I can say, you know what, there is no, if we close above that, there is no reason for us to get down there, right? We don't want to get down there anymore. So then I can put my stops right below. And I can always then set new limit orders. Right there if I want to. Jamadre, those low volume notes are some serious sauce. I didn't expect to receive 2 days ago. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I love it. I sent an email about it today. So if you download the book for free, the warm app, then you get an email from me as well with education out of this book, which is actually beautiful. The combination of the book with my emails, which is the sauce. The free sauce. And then the live streams, right? Now, I'm very happy, man. The group is killing it as well, my journey. The group is absolutely great. I'm very happy to hear that. There were 15 people selected from the 200 applications that we did. And they are, we're going through the charts right now, the session. We have a whole session library. We have all the charts, examples, all kinds of different things right here. Trade examples right there of trades. All kinds of things that we follow, exactly following our process, right? And yeah, people are just now trading, which is amazing. But yeah, it's only for, there are only 15 people in my group there because it's it's exclusive. It's only for the, we open only once a month to a small group, and that's the only way, because then we can give people really the attention they deserve. Yeah, if this breaks out, that will be very, very nice. Let's see what oil is doing. Yeah, oil is really struggling there. Oil is really, really struggling there. And yeah, the hourly reacts quite well. Yeah, let's see if we can break it this time, right? Let's see if we can break these highs this time. That'll be good. Obviously, this area would have been such a good entry level, by the way. Unbelievable. I'm looking back at it, I'm like, wow, that 41 level was actually a really good level. Why do you trade this instead of the gold? What is the difference? It's just a futures chart, but it's the same. Slightly different pricing, but it's the same structure, right? Can you please share the settings for the fixtures right profile? Yes. Right here. And right here. Right there and right there. Okay. You need to pause it and then you will get that. You will get it. Okay, let's flip this candle too and actually have some volume. That would be really nice. Now the entry suddenly looks a lot better. Not perfect, but it looks better. Yeah, the dollar already flipped bearish. All right, New York Stock Exchange will open soon in 2 minutes. Hopefully that will cause us the squeeze and not the manipulation. Hopefully this was the manipulation. For the squeeze. Let's see what happens. Yeah, you want to see this flipping, right? Want to see this flipping. I like the hourly though. I like what we have in this hourly candle. I do like the 4 hour. You know, we are in that major zone. We know why. Higher time frame. You have some trapped sellers there. In terms of like the delta is actually coming down a little bit, but the price is pretty much flat. So it's not necessarily. You could see it out here. The delta is actually coming down, and price is flat. It's not pushing higher. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're that we have a bearish divergence. It actually shows us mere that there is an absorption of sellers, and that people that try to sell are kind of failing right now. Yeah. Gambling feels less stressful than trading. Why is that? That's a good point. Interesting. Never thought about that. Because you want to be correct. That's the difference. You want to be right. And you know, with gambling, you have no control over the outcome. Anyways. So, that's why. I need more TGs. All right, NYSE. Can we do it, please? Can we do it? Can we get the volume in? Okay, there we go. Dibali John Barapa Lorenzo, Satanga Sapulu. We said it's a short signal. I mean, it looks pretty good right now, but yeah, you know what the thing is? I'm very critical on myself, right? In theory, I could have said as well the 40 would be a great entry, that low volume node right there, in combination with this hourly. It could have been actually very, very good entry right there. But yeah, it's okay. We got a pretty good confirmation to at least hold on to the trade. But we really want to break out right now, right? We really, really want to break out here at the 50 minutes right now, because we have been really struggling here. We've been really struggling here before. Okay, it's somehow this level here. We can't break it right now. Okay, we have a hard time breaking this level. So we really want to see the follow through. And the only thing that can do it, in my opinion, is the New York Stock Exchange right now with the volume in the right direction. If you want, you can put break even. You can also take some profits if you say this is the moment, because you are in a zone now where you are in that resistance. Okay. You want this to break out, really. We want this to break out. Lorenzo, what happens? Well, you can take some profits here if you want to. All right, there we go. There we go. There we go. Now, take some profits here then. Okay. The TP1 here. Such a small trade because I took an aggressive entry. Whenever I take an aggressive entry, I don't risk a lot, to be honest. Just so you understand this, right? This is TP1. And now stop loss on break even. And then the exit will be that major resistance zone, right? There we go. Now you have a pretty good trade. And then the exit is, of course, there. The target is at the 4779. Okay, target. Full TP right there. Okay. So that is the trade. All right. Yeah, I would say that this is a clean setup overall. I think everything aligned very well. Could have got a bit of better entry in my opinion. Okay, I have to be honest here. Could have been a better entry. Again, in this case, that aggressive entry that we took here was worth taking, right? We just had to be a bit patient. Otherwise, this would have been my entry. I can remove the limit order for now. But that would have been the next zone if I would be coming down and I would get out of the trade. I would get and buy there again. But now you have your entry. Cool. All right, W's in the chat. Yes, sir. Pretty textbook. And it was pretty obvious that if we would break this level, that we would probably come down all the way. And that there was no reason to stay in the trade if that would be the case. All right, we closed above this right now as well. So now we have a little bit more confirmation as well. We're actually closing above this. If the 50-minute can close above this, it's game over. Or we'll probably go to the target. If the 5-minute close above this is a good start. But at least you took some profits out of the market, right? So you should be good regardless. Jay says, just passed my funded. Amazing. Congratulations, my friend. Beautiful. Don't forget to change the sell stop. No, we're already at break-even run. It's just so you can see the profits. You can see the P now, I would say. Ah, sorry. Yeah, you're right. We took profits, right? Sorry. Wow. Why didn't I see that? You're right. Correct. Thank you, man. Otherwise, we would be selling there. You're right. It's so true. That would be nasty. Yeah. Yo, what's up, Lima? Welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. That's the 50-minute. The 50-minute needs to close there, right? That's the most important thing. Because if the 50-minute doesn't close here, it's going to be another absorption of sellers. And that means that, yeah, most likely it will pull back again. So that's why you need to take profits here. That's why we have a TP1 here. This is why we have a TP1 there, because if the 15-minute doesn't close there and we get absorbed again, yeah, then you miss out on a trade and stuff. You want to take some profits here, in my opinion. You do want to do that. So yeah, the stop loss became kind of clear around there if we would break that. And then the target now is obviously this level, right? It's the 4779, if we can get there, of course. Why do you choose action charts and not bookmap? Because action chart shows the footprint chart and not the bubbles, or just the bubbles. The footprint chart shows you much more data, much more data, much more important data, I would say. Ewan, welcome to the channel, man. Hope you're doing well. If you're new, my name is Lorenzo. I've been trading for a long time. I wrote a book. So I'm the author of the LTA Concepts Trading War Map. So when you start trading, you can read the war map. In times of crisis, the war map becomes very useful. Okay. That's why it's a free book. You can download it. It's all about the volume profile and how we perceive and understand the volume and how we take trades around volume. This is why you see these profiles right there. You can download it right here, man. Yeah. Oh, ebook. Sorry. Why did you answer when I asked you about action charts? I mean, I don't read any. I cannot see any comment all the time, right? Sometimes I'm trading as well, by the way. Sometimes I need to trade. Okay. You know what I mean? That's what we're actually doing here on the stream. We're trading. We're trying to trade. Okay, so the 15-minute, I don't see us closing there yet. We're still struggling. Look at that. We're still struggling here. We're really struggling here. You see that? So this is why we took profits. Super important to take profits here, guys. Really important. Because we could easily close below the zone again and pull back. Hola Lorenzo, puedes mostrar cómo close the volume profile? Yes. Can we get it as a regular book? You can buy it soon, but I will not make any profit on it. Okay? Because my intent was never to make profit on the book. Never. Yeah, you see? It's too much resistance here. We can't break close the 50-minute candle above our zone. There's too much absorption. Right there, right there, right there. We really need to have a large push, large injection of buyers stepping in here and like do something big, because if we don't close above this in 3 minutes, we'll most likely come down again to our entry. That's why we take profits here. Made sense. Made sense. See what the 5-minute is doing. It's not too bad. The 5-minute. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Lorenzo, how to get in your group? Is there a way to that? Right now we are closed. I'm only opening to 15 people once a month. We are now with my group in session 4, which was the order flow today. We did the order flow today. We went through it all for hours and hours. We did a full presentation with slides and everything. It was very interesting. And tomorrow we're going to trade live together. And we have so many examples, unbelievable examples here that we use from higher time frame. Pretty much the whole structure is explained. Cannot show too much, but yeah, it's very interesting because they're all starting to take trades right now, right? They're all taking trades according to the system, which is very nice to see. Very excited to see it now because they're taking action now. Love it. So rewarding, man. Yeah, I hope we can flip this 5-minute candle. I really hope so. The 15-minute as well needs to really give us a strong closure right now because it doesn't look promising on the 15 for the follow through, to be honest. Doesn't look that promising there. But that's why we take profits, because we're not going to let this trade run away right now. We're already locked in, so we can actually just chill and lay back and see what happens. Or if we close below here again, we can say, okay, you know what? We're gonna close the trade again, and we'll take full TP. That is also a possibility, but it's not necessary. Not necessary. You can also leave it. Yeah, look at that, right? Look at that rejection here. 60 seconds, we're going to close it. So, yeah, that means in the next candle, most likely, we're going to pull a bit. We're going to create a top wick, and then we're going to drop down again. Look at that 50-minute rejection, that absorption. So that doesn't look super promising. Now we set in the top wick. And it happened actually in the last minute, right? The last 5 minutes or so. So okay, let's see the 15-minute here. Yeah. Really struggling here. Really struggling here. This is a large absorption as well. Look at that. 155 contracts long. So that means that a person hit 155 on the ask in one trade. Boom. And it was large absorption. We've never been able to close above it properly on the 15-minute time frame. Even right now, we haven't been able to close above this. You see that? And we reject right now. So that's how we're going to be break even on the rest of our trade. Most likely. Maybe we're a bit lucky. That would be really lucky, by the way, if we can survive that. But that's why we take profits in this case. So I hope you took some profits too if you followed up with this and you understood the trade and stuff. All right. Wow. That was close. That was close. Wasn't it? Yeah, I think this is really strong resistance here. I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to take it. That's it. Usually this is the hope that this is then the bottom and that we're going to go up. But trust me, man, I've seen this level many times before. I think it's better to just take it out and just close the trade. And we'll most likely come back to the entry. I would not be surprised if that would be the case. Let's put it this way. And was I correct? Was I correct? Was I correct? Yes, I was correct. So we closed the trade in a little bit more profit. You see that? That's what's called not being greedy. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. I think we timed that exit perfect right there when we had a little chance of a pullback one more time to see, okay, it's not going to work. So we take a bit more out of the market. So we took another, I would say, TP right there and just closed it. I mean, it's okay. It's good, right? It's better than, it's what you want. If there's no follow through, there's no follow through. But I think the trade was well managed, right? Now it's time to wait, in my opinion. Now it's really time to be patient here and to wait to see what happens right now. Could it be another entry? I mean, it could be. It could be. But let's observe real quick because the dollar is not, definitely not strong yet. Oil is trying to break out a little bit more with a bit more conviction. That's true. Oil is trying something. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but oil is doing something. It's trying something. I think there's news. Is there some news? Is there some news? Anything that we need to know? Nothing, huh? Nothing crazy, right? I don't think so. Nothing crazy. All right. Okay. Now, I think it was well managed this trade, right? So now we just look at the next step. And that is, do I want to enter again? I don't think so. Usually, when I take the entry and price comes back and it doesn't fulfill me, then I don't see a reason to enter at that same level. Okay. Sometimes, yes, very occasionally, but it's rare that I would enter on the same level. I rather just see how, let's say, gold develops. And if it gets back down and it gives me a much better entry, then why not doing that, right? Why not taking that, for example, which is all the way down there to this big zone, this big area right here where we really want to buy, if you can get there, which is actually much lower. It's right there. It could still be the trade, though, that this will actually play out to the upside and stuff. I'm not saying that it will not. But we took what we did. We took the risk of taking the trade earlier aggressively and we squeezed it. We took profits there and there. If price gets up there, it's straightforward for me. We're going to get into a major zone, which is this area one more time. Okay. If we take the 30-minute time frame, okay, we'll do it one more time. We take the 30-minute time frame. And we take the volume profile. From the top to the bottom. Then we can see that we have a gap right here. And that gap is what we call a low volume node, aka an inefficiency. Okay? Aka an imbalance, whatever people want to call it. And if you get there, we'll find major resistance. We'll find major resistance. Okay? A great example was this one. Look at that. But also, look at that. Look at that. You see that? And also, on the 50-minute, look at that. How that turned into support as well. This is the real support and resistance. The real support and resistance, okay? So that is a major area. I would look for potential sells there, all right? In this area, we have a range. We have a breakout of the range. We have been accumulating right now for a while. So inside of this area, there are a couple levels I will be looking at, but only when we are undervalued against the dollar. If we're not undervalued against the dollar, then I'm not really willing to look at it. Then I'll wait for price to come even lower. It just depends where are we going to be undervalued, because that gives me the best price. This is the best price right there. It could be around this area. We have a low volume node as well inside of this zone. You can see that right there. This could be a nice area, okay? If you can get there. Also, the 20 right here. We just talked about the 20s. That could be another area, okay? Depending on where we were just or so in any of one of those areas, we could see potentially, you know, the reaction. We have the very high as well, which is what we want. Something like this, or something like this, right? That's what I would be looking for. But if price comes up now and it gets there, and we're struggling to break it, and the volume is coming down, there is a big chance that this is the short-term top for a pullback. Okay, so I could also say potential sells here. Okay, but more buys here as well. Still following the trend right now. I hope that makes sense. Okay, but anyways, two scenarios. Inside of this range, we took a trade. I think it was an aggressive trade. And it could still hold, and it could still go. But up to you to decide if you want to hold on to the trade or not, if you believe in it, if you're in it. But I think that taking profits was a necessity here. I think it was a good choice. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to leave you guys. I need to go very, very soon already. Okay. I don't have that much time today, so 1 hour and 40 minutes is actually perfect right now for today. And we took the trade here. Obviously, the AA setups are, in my opinion, below, like we just explained, right? We just talked about it right there. Okay. This was a little bit more of an aggressive entry, but still made sense from that perspective as well here. Okay. I'm looking forward to see you in the next stream. All right, we'll keep you guys updated. Tomorrow is the NFP. All right. So that will be very interesting. Be aware of the NFP right here, my friends. It will be very, very interesting to see what will happen with the NFP, how this will impact gold. And if gold, like I said before, if gold is in that higher time frame zone with the NFP, whew, that's going to be interesting too. So let's see what happens. Okay? Let's see what happens. All right. Keeping it shorter, but you guys know it. We're stepping up our game. We're almost here every day. I've been doing 40 streams. I think I did 38 of those. 37 of those straight. Okay, except for yesterday and maybe last week one time. But I'm going to be here, right? Usually 5 days a week. I am sometimes now trading with, and I have to be honest here, with the community, the private community that I'm working with right now. We promised them to have some private live trading streams as well here, so do take that in consideration. But it will only be once every 2 weeks or something like that, okay? For the rest, I will be on YouTube as much as I can. At least 4 days a week. Minimum, right? Preferably 5, of course, okay? Amazing, guys. Good luck with today here, and let's see what happens with the next of the session, man. And let's go from there, okay? That's all. Thank you, guys. There we go. That's the sound we're looking for.